Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity for us to continue with our lesson in the commentary of the Aqaid of Imam Nasafiyyah in the knowledge of Aqidah, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our lesson and make it a reason where our sins are forgiven and prayers are answered, inshallah ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all difficulties, trials and tribulations in dunya and akhirah. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. In our last lesson, we were speaking about the characteristic of accidents, and that accidents are contingencies, and substances, the base things that are subsisted in them, accidents, any accidents subsist in substances. This is one of the argument that, or one of the evidence that accidents are contingencies, and likewise the substances in which they subsist in, because it is impossible for substances to be pre-eternal when the accidents that subsisted in them are contingent. So this is basically so many of the things that we mentioned in our previous lesson. The second thing we spoke about is the example of movement and stillness. So when something is moving, it is contingent. Movement itself is an accident, and it is by the means of observation that we can conclude that it is a contingency, because it is preceded by stillness, which is non-existent of movement. So when something moves, it is preceded by non-movement. When something is moving, it is preceded by non-movement, and after it moves, it will again come into a state of stillness. So these are evidences to say that accidents are contingencies, like the example of movements and stillness, and likewise the changes that takes place in a substance, and likewise substances are also contingencies. So basically what we have covered so far is to prove that accidents are contingencies, and likewise substances are also contingencies, and this universe is made up of substances and accident, as what Imam Nasafiyyah mentioned, that al-alam, this universe, he said it is made up of al-a'yan wal-a'rad, it made up of substances and accidents. So when we are able to establish the evidence that substances are contingencies, and likewise accidents are contingencies, so the conclusion will be that this universe is contingent. So when we say the universe is contingent, then it has a beginning. It is preceded by non-existence. It means that the universe is not in existence before, then it came into existence. If that is the case, then there must be an originator, al-muhdith, the one who brought the universe into existence, because something that is preceded by non-existence cannot bring itself into existence, because it was non-existent before. So this is one of the most important evidences to come to the conclusion that there must be an originator. Otherwise it is impossible. Otherwise it is impossible. Just like a simple example, usually we give, we say this bottle is invented. This bottle is invented. Somebody invented this bottle. So it is impossible to say that this bottle came out of nowhere, or it came into existence by coincidence. This is impossible. Nobody will accept it, because we know this is contingent. This is something that is created. This is something that is invented. Somebody made this bottle. Somebody designed the color of this bottle, the height of this bottle, the width of this bottle, and the function of this bottle, how it is how it is function in this way, for example. So all these things shows that there is someone who's behind, who made this bottle. So likewise, we look at this universe, we look at the sun and the moon, we look at the coming of the day and night, we look at human beings, and we look at the animals. we understood then all these things any are contingencies. Any human beings any is a good example. We have a beginning. 100 years ago any we are not in existence, now we are in existence. So there must be something any that brought us into existence. So we know any for sure that we do not bring ourselves into this existence, and we do not know what were we and where were we before any we came into this world. Even the Quran any mentioned about alamun arwah, that all of us any we are in this realm any of the souls. We do not know this unless any we are informed any through revelation, any through the words any of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the reality is that we have a beginning. We do not have the ability and capacity any to bring ourselves any into this existence. If we have any that capacity, surely we will design ourselves. But we are created and we are any design any in this language. We use any the word any design, easier for us any to understand. We are designed into any this characteristic. And some of us any have white skin color, some of us are black, some of us are brown, some of us any are fair, some of us are tall, some of us are, and all these any different any characteristics. And we find human beings any have different any characteristics, and we from any different any places. Some of us any in the east, some of us in the west. We speak any different any languages. So we do not any determine anywhere where we are born and to which community any that we are born, and the characteristics any the color any of our skin and all these things. So all these things it inform us any that there is an originator, and that this originator yani has wisdom and knowledge and will, that he designed any our characteristic. There is someone any who brought us into existence, who designed any our characteristic, who gave us any all this any blessings, because this is what you call it, otherwise any it is impossible for something and to have a beginning and without an originator. So these are some of the things that inshallah we go into today, inshallah. We go back into our notes first. I'm just given some summary. So let us look at our notes. You see, there are certain things and I will skip because Al-Imam Taftazani, after he speaks about the second muqaddimah, is what he said, wa ammal muqaddimatu thaniya. This in page 62 for the Pakistani translation. He said wa ammal muqaddimatu thaniya, the second premise, and he said fali anna ma la yakhlu anil hawadisi law thabata fil azali ladima thubutul hadith. This is the last thing I mentioned last week. If you can remember, if you can look, and even in the recordings, you can see that we spoke about this premise, the second premise. We spoke about the first premise. This is the second premise. Again, this premise speaks about the evidence of the contingency of substances. So he said that fali anna ma la yakhlu anil hawadith, and he's speaking about substances. He said substances, it cannot come into existence without accidents. This is the first thing we have to understand. Substances cannot be in existence without accidents. So for example, this bottle is a substance. It cannot come into existence without the accidents. It cannot come into existence without any height, without any width, without any color, or without any what you call it, movement, for example. So it is impossible. All substances, what you call it, except any movement and stillness, all substances, what you call it, have any accidents in terms of the height, in terms of the width, in terms of the weight, and so on and so forth. So it is impossible that a substance can come into existence without accident. And since any accidents are contingent, this is what he said. فَلِأَنَّ مَا لَا يَخْلُ عَلِ الْحَوَادِثِ لَوْ ثَبَتَ فِي الْأَزَلِ. Now when we understand that substances, there must be accidents, and accidents are hawadith. Accidents are contingencies. So if accidents are contingencies, substances also must be contingent. This basically what he's trying to say. Substances must also be contingent, because it is impossible that the accident that subsists in the substance is contingent, whereas the substance itself is pre-eternal. It is impossible because you cannot separate substances from accidents. So he said law sabata fil azal, if yani if, meaning for example, and he said just out of what you call it, imagination, if the substances and is pre-eternal, let's say substances and pre-eternal, not contingent. He said lazima subutul hadis fil azal, lazima subutul hadis fil azal. So if the substance and is pre-eternal, at the same time the accidents and are contingent, so there is a contradiction. It is like any saying that it is pre-eternal but it is contingent. Now this is impossible. Wahwa muhal, is it? This is any impossible, any, because the accidents that subsist and within the substances any are contingencies. So the substance must be contingent. It is a contradiction, and if you were to say that accidents are contingent, but the substance any are pre-eternal. So this one he say walazimu batilun wal malzum misluhu. Just like any we say that it is batil, and to say that substances are pre-eternal, and likewise what you call it, if the substances are pre-eternal, the accidents must also be pre-eternal, but accidents are not any pre-eternal. So there is a contradiction here. So it is batil, he say wa huwa muhal. So this is basically what he's saying. So at the end of the day, what it is important, which I mentioned many a times, is that one of our arguments in Ilm al-Kalam is how do we prove any that substances are contingencies, and we say that because of the accidents are contingent, substances are also contingent. And we gave the example of movement, substance that moves, it shows that it is contingent, because movement is preceded by non-movement. So this is one of the signs of contingency. Type. So basically this is just a revision of what we covered in our last lesson. So now we will continue. For those who have the book and you just take note, we are not going to read all this. Wahuna abahath. Again, Al-Imam Taftazani is going to speak about the differences between the scholars of Kalam and the philosophers, which I will not go into. Basically, just to give you an overview, he is bringing in more evidence. He's going to bring in more evidence to rebut the philosophers, because again, the philosophers they believe that the universe is pre-eternal. This is the problem of the philosophers, and they believe that the universe is pre-eternal. So Al-Imam Taftazani is going to bring more evidence to rebut their claims that the universe is pre-eternal. So at the end of the day, is what is important for us, that we are contented, and it is enough for us to come to the conclusion that the universe is contingent. So these are all the answers towards some of the questions that came about from the aspect of the philosophy of those who claim that the universe is pre-eternal. Now we will skip all the way, and then we go to this. This is the part here. This is where Al-Imam Nasafiyyah, and in brackets, and here's what we know. Now he mentioned wal muhdithu lil alami huwa Allahu ta'ala. So once we have come to the conclusion, and we have understood that al-alam is everything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is hadith, yani is contingent, that has a beginning. So there must be an originator. There must be an originator, any meaning the one who brought it into existence. If something has a beginning, there must be something else that brought it into existence. So when we speak about other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yani other than Allah has a beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the originator, and the one who brought everything into existence, and Allah cannot have a beginning. So these are some of the things that we are going to discuss inshallah ta'ala. So he mentioned wal muhdithu lil alami huwa Allahu ta'ala, yani al muhdith, yani the one who brought everything into existence, and this universe is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he explained al-dhdt al-wdjib al-wujud. Al-Imam Taftazani, and he commented by saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and basically this is how when we say about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say Allah is alamun lidhat wajibul wujud. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is an entity, and his existence is necessary. So this is the meaning of al-wajibul wujud. what is the meaning when we say a necessary form of existence? Meaning his existence and he has no beginning. His existence does not accept any non-existence. This is the meaning of wajib al-wujud. So again, what you call it? I repeat this. Wajib al-wujud, it is a necessary existence, and necessary existence, and it means it is an existence that does not accept non-existence. Meaning it is always in existence. It is always in existence. It has no beginning and it has no ending. Always in existence, and it does not accept any non-existence. So this is the meaning of wajibul wujud. And as what we study in Kharida and also in Aqidah Sanusiyyah, we mentioned that existence of three types. Existence of three types. And we have wajib al-wujud, and then we have mumkinul wujud, and then we have mustahilul wujud. So wajibul wujud is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, his existence is necessary. His existence and he does not accept any non-existence. And then we have mumkinul wujud, and all of us we are mumkinul wujud. And the meaning of mumkinul wujud, it is an existence that can accept an existence, and we also can accept non-existence. So like for us, we accept non-existence and we also accept existence. 100 years ago we are not in existence, now we are in existence, and 100 years later we will enter into non-existence. So we are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from non-existence and into existence and into non-existence. So we are accepting non-existence and we also accepting existence. So this form of existence in the Tawhid term we call it mumkinul wujud. Our existence is mumkin, is possible. And then we have the third type, mustahilul wujud. Mustahilul wujud is something that cannot exist. Is something that cannot exist. And a good example is what we mentioned last week, and it is the combining of two contradictories. This is impossible. Two things that are in contradiction cannot be in existence. And for example, we cannot be saying that this bottle is moving and not moving at the same time. This bottle is either, the substance is either moving or not moving. But we cannot be saying that it moves and it does not move at the same time. This is the combining of two contradictories. The combining of contradictories. Something can be in existence or non-existence, but it cannot be both. We cannot be saying, for example, I am in existence and not in existence at the same time. It is impossible. Either we are in existence, which we are in existence, or we say something is not in existence, but we cannot be saying that it is in existence and not in existence at the same time. This is a combination of two contradictions. Jam'u bayna al-dhiddain. In Arabic, and we call it al-jam'u bayna al-dhiddain. Yani the combining of two contradictories is mustahil. So this is a form of mustahilul wujud. Impossible existence. Meaning, alhamdulillah, it cannot accept any existence. It cannot accept any existence. And that's what we learn in Aqidah when we speak about the Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say the Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no relation with the wajib and the mustahil. The Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has only relation with the mumkinat. So that is why when we define the attribute of al-qudra, we say sifatun azaliyatun yata'atta biha ijadu mumkinin wa i'damuhu. The Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it links only to the possibilities, the mumkin. It has no relation with the wajib, because wajib is always in existence. So you cannot bring an existence to something which is already in existence. In Aqidah we call it tahsilul hasil. Tahsilul hasil. Yani if this bottle is in existence, we cannot be saying what you call it is in need of existence, because it's already in existence. So the Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no relation with the wajib, because wajib, as what we mentioned, always in existence. And likewise, the Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no relation with the mustahilul wujud, the existence which are impossible things that cannot accept any existence, has no relation with the Kuliah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Kuliah of Allah, we mentioned, only relate to the possibilities, the mumkinat. Likewise, the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Kuliah and the Kuliah and al-irada. So it is important for us to differentiate between wajibul wujud and mumkinul wujud, and not to be confused. Some people they do not learn about all this, and they say what's wrong if mumkin becomes wajib becomes mumkin, and they thought it is things that can change. Now this is This is a big issue. And if a person cannot differentiate what is mumkinul wujud and what is wajibul wujud, he might be ascribing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something that is mumkin as an attribute to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which happens. And he might say that something that is makhluk and is wajibul wujud. So this is dangerous. So that is why it is important for us to understand the meaning of hukm al-aqli and the difference between hukm al-aqli and hukm al-adi. All this we have covered in the past. So when we speak about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, entity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is what Imam Taftazani mentioned, al-dhdt wajibul wujud. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his existence and his wajib. Al-ladhi yakunu wujud. Then he explains further. And what is the meaning of wajibul wujud? So he says, Alladhi yakunu wujuduhu min zatihi. Yani, the existence is from his entity. Meaning, he is not in need of something else to bring it into existence. He is not in need of something else to bring it into existence. So his existence has no beginning and cannot accept any form of non-existence. This is what he is saying. Alladhi yakunu wujuduhu min zatihi. وَلَا يَحْتَاجُ إِلَى شَيْءٍ أَصْلًا. The existence of wajibul wujud, the necessary form of existence, which is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not in need of something else for its existence. The moment something is in need of something else for its existence and meaning, it is contingent. So for example, we are in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our existence comes from Allah. Our existence does not come from us. Our existence does not come from us. But our existence comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have a beginning. And Allah is the one who brought us into existence. So we are in need of something else. We are in need of the originator for our existence. And this is the characteristic of contingencies. The characteristics of contingency is that it is in need of something else. Al-iftikar. As what we study in Barahin. The nature of creations is that fakir. All of us we are in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything. And then he goes on further to say is law kana jaiz al-wujud, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jaiz al-wujud, meaning jaiz al-wujud is the same meaning as mumkinul wujud. It means that it has a beginning, something that has a beginning, something that accepts non-existence and also existence. If God, the originator, is jaizul wujud, lakana min jumlatil alam. If he is jaizul wujud, then he is from the universe itself. Because the universe itself is jaizul wujud. The universe is contingent. If God is contingent, then meaning he is from the universe. So he cannot become the originator. Because he has a beginning and he is created. He is the one who brought into existence just like the universe as what we mentioned. فَلَمْ يَصْلُحْ مُحْدِثًا لِلْعَالَمِ. So if that is the case, then he cannot be the muhdith, the originator. وَمُبْتَدِئًا لَهُ, the one who created it from the beginning. Because if the originator himself has a beginning, meaning he is created and he is part of alam. Because the meaning of alam is ghayrullah, is what we mentioned. Anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alam. And al-alam is hadith. So if the originator is hadith, meaning he is from he's from the alam, and he cannot be the muhdith, the originator, and he cannot be the mubtadi, the one who brought everything into existence in the beginning. Ma anna al-alama ismun li jami'i ma yasluhu ilman ala wujudi mubdi'in lahu. Because he said that al-alam, everything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-alam is a name that entails that its existence is in need of the originator. The word al-alam, it means that it is contingent. It is a contingency and something that is contingent and is in need of the mubdi. I said ala wujudi mubdi'in lahu. It is in need of the one who brought it into existence. Because al-alam in itself, and he cannot bring it into existence, as what we mentioned. وَقَرِيبٌ مِنْ هَذَا مَا يُقَالُ إِنَّ مُبْدِئَ الْمُمْكِنَاتِ بِأَصْلِهَا لَا بُدَّ أَنْ يَكُونَ وَاجِبًا. So he said that what you call it for simplicity, it is how we define this thing, and by saying the statement that the mubdi of the mumkinat, the originator yani of the possible any beings, all of it bi asriha, without any exception, la budda an yakuna wajiban, it must be a necessary any existent being. It cannot be a possible any existence any being, because possible existent being, then he is created, and it is impossible. The originator cannot be created. He must not have any beginning. He must not accept any form of non-existence, because if he accepts any form of non-existence, any meaning he's from the mumkinat, that he is from any the possible any beings. Is law kana mumkinan, if he is a mumkin, yani a form of possible any being, la kana min jumlatil mumkinat, then he is the same any as the other possible any beings, falam yakun mubdi'an laha, so he cannot be the mubdi, yani the originator of the universe. So I hope it is clear inshallah ta'ala. So let me summarize basically what the author is saying. Again, when we link to what we have covered in our last lesson, when we speak about the evidences between on the substances and the accidents, once we have come to the conclusion that substances and accidents are contingencies, and contingencies has a beginning, meaning there must be an originator, and that originator must be wajibul wujud. It cannot be mumkinul wujud. If it is mumkinul wujud, then is part of the creations, and this is impossible, because again we need to ask the question who brought him into existence if he has a beginning. So he must be wajibul wujud, and wajibul wujud is something that does not accept any form of non-existence. It has no beginning, has no end, cannot accept any form of non-existence. So this is the mubdi. This is the originator, and that brought everything into existence, and he cannot have a beginning. He cannot accept any non-existence, because if he accepts any form of non-existence, he is from the mumkinat. So this is what this is what he's saying. So I think what you call it is clear inshallah ta'ala. So now we will go on. We go on to the next paragraph. So based on what I explained, I think it is enough inshallah ta'ala. Yani you can read the translations by yourself. So now we are going into the next paragraph, and he mentioned after that, he said, وَقَدْ يُتَوَهَّمُ أَنَّ هَذَا دَلِيلٌ عَلَى وُجُودِ الصَّانِعِ مِنْ غَيْرِ افتكار إلى إبطال التسلسل. Yani before I explain this particular statement, there is a terminology that I would like to remind all those who have followed my classes before in Kharida, in Sanusiyyah, and even what you call it, Aqidah Tahawiyah. We have this terminology that is called at-tasalsul. If you look in the Arabic text here, we have this word at-tasalsul. So at-tasalsul, we mentioned in our previous books that we covered. In English, we translate tasalsul as the infinite regression. Infinite regression. So let me give you an example as what you call it. You need to revise about this. You see, we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yani the al-mubdi, the originator of this universe, of ghayrullah, other than him, the one who created everything, other than him, he is wajibul wujud. That's what we mentioned. He has no beginning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no beginning, and he has the attribute of al-qidam. He has no beginning and no ending, and he does not accept any non-existence. He is always in existence. And we say this is necessary for the originator, because if the originator has a beginning, then he himself is brought into existence if he has a beginning. So he cannot be the originator, because anything that has a beginning is part of the universe. That's what Al-Imam Tatazani mentioned earlier. So it is necessary for us to accept that the originator cannot have a beginning. It cannot have a beginning. So Al-Imam Tatazani mentioned that Al-Imam al-Nasafi did not speak specifically about tasalsul. The text of Nasafi, Al-Imam Nasafi say al-muhdith wallahu ta'ala. Yani Al-Imam Nasafi, after he says that al-a'yan wal-a'rad, they are contingencies, al-muhdith wallah, yani the one who brought them into existence, and is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning a'yan and a'rad, the substances and accidents, and it has a beginning, they have a beginning. and everything that has a beginning must have an originator, and that originator is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah is wajib al-wujud. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wajib al-wujud. Otherwise, if it's mumkin al-wujud, then it is impossible, because he will be from the mumkinat, and that is mustahil. So Al-Imam al-Taftazani, and he mentioned people who read the Aqaid of a Nasafi might be thinking that we are not in need to speak about tasalsul. He said, no, that is not the case. He said that we are in need to speak about tasalsul. But even Imam Nasafi did not mention about tasalsul, but the concept of wajibul wujud actually speaks about the impossibility of tasalsul. What is tasalsul? Infinite regression, meaning if God has a beginning, this is an example. If God has a beginning, then we have to ask the question, who created this God who has a beginning? Who created this God who has a beginning? For example, if a person argue, for example, let's say any non-Muslim, he said that God has a beginning. For example, you are speaking to a person who is not contented with the idea that God cannot have a beginning. So he said that what's the problem if God has a beginning? So we give an example. So now we say God A has a beginning. So we are in need to know who is the one who brought God A into existence, and since he has a beginning, so there must be an originator. So this person will be saying, for example, okay, there must be another God. So that God, maybe we say God B. God B also has a beginning. So who is the one who brought God B into existence, and that it must be God C, third God. Who is the one who brought God C into existence? God C also has a beginning. It is God D. So this will be what you call it. This is the meaning of tasalsul, and it will never end. And going on like this, without any what you call it ending to it, it is mustahil. Itself, it is impossible. This form of existence, of this, what we are speaking about, the God, created another God, created another God, created another God, and without any ending, this itself is impossible. This is mustahilul wujud. That's what we mentioned earlier. This form of the existence is impossible. So this is the meaning of tasalsul. So if God has a beginning, it will lead to tasalsul. It will lead to infinite regression, and infinite regression is mustahil. So meaning God cannot have a beginning. God cannot have a beginning. So this is what you call it, the argument about infinite, the impossibility of infinite regression. There is another thing that we learn in Kharidah Bahiyah, for example, the concept of unending circularity, ad-dawr. Another type of philosophers. Some philosophers believe in tasalsul, although it is impossible, but people believe. Some people they believe in dawr, what you call it, never ending circularity. For example, they say that God has a beginning. So God A has a beginning. Who created God A, God B? Who created God B, God C? Who created God C, God A again? So it becomes a circle. This is what you call it, a weird kind of belief. But last time some of the Greek and the philosophers they believe in unending circularity. There is a God, and they believe that he is the one who created the second God, and he is created by what you call it, the third God. Even though the first God comes into existence before the third God, but the third God created the first God. But this is of course, and this is impossible. But this is also something that last time, Allahu Alam, now I do not know whether there are such people who believe in this kind of impossible theories, impossible kind of existence, things that cannot be existent in this manner. So this is what is called as the unending circularity. So what is important for us to understand, that infinite regression is impossible, unending circularity is also impossible. So here Al-Imam Taftazani he's saying, وَقَدْ يُتَوَهَّمُ أَنَّ هَذَا دَلِيلٌ عَلَى وُجُودِ الصَّانِعِ مِنْ غَيْرِ إِفْتِكَارٍ إِلَى إِبْطَالِ تَسَلْسُلِ. So he said that do not think that what the author is saying, even though he does not mention any tasalsul, it does not mean that we are not in need to speak about the evidence of the impossibility of tasalsul. Because when we use the concept of wajibul wujud, automatically we are debunking the concept of infinite any regression. So the moment any we say God is wajibul wujud, so you are debunking the possibility any of infinite any regression. So if wajibul wujud is something that cannot accept non-existence, so how can any the concept any of tasalsul any be applied? So here Imam Tatazani is saying that even though it is not mentioned any in the matan of Nasafi, but it is understood. This is what he said. Walaysa kadhalik, he said, bal huwa isyaratun ila ahadi adillati butlani tasalsul wa huwa annahu law tarattabat silsilatul mumkinat la ila nihayatin lahtajat ila illatin. So he said that the concept of wajibul wujud has ishara, yani it shows the impossibility of infinite regression, because yani he's saying that if what you call it, believing in concept of infinite regression that has no ending, it is impossible because it is in need of the originator. Something that has beginning is in need of the originator. So we cannot be saying that this created this created this was created by this, by this, by this, by this, by this. There must be a beginning. There must be the illah. What is the thing that brought these things into existence? وَهِيَ لَا يَجُوزُ أَن تَكُونَ نَفْسُهَا وَلَا بَعْضُهَا. So the contingency in itself, the thing that is mumkin, it cannot bring itself into existence. Something that has a beginning cannot bring itself into existence because it is preceded by non-existence. It is preceded by non-existence. So something that is in reality came from non-existence, it clearly shows that it cannot bring itself into existence, or part of itself into existence. This is what he's saying. وَهِيَ لَا يَجُوزُ أَن تَكُونَ نَفْسُهَا وَلَا بَعْضُهَا لِاسْتِحَالَةِ كَوْنِ الشَّيْءِ عِلَّةً لِنَفْسِهِ وَلِعِلَلِهِ. It is impossible for something which is contingent becomes the reason of its existence, of its own existence. Bal kharijan anha, but there is something else out of it that brought it into existence. When you speak about a contingency, we say something else brought it into existence, and that something, what you call it, must be pre-eternal. It cannot be a contingent being. Bal kharijan anha fatakunu wajiban fatanqati'u silsilah. And that thing that comes from the outside and that brings the mumkin into existence must be wajib. This is what he said. Fatakunu wajiban, wajibul wujud, that has no beginning. Fatanqati'u silsilah. Then only we can solve the issue of infinite regression. That is the tasalsul. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So now we have come, what you call it, let me see, we can continue a bit. I'm going to skip this. Again, this is, what you call it, some arguments with the philosophers on the issue. Some philosophers believe in the concept of tasalsul. So Al-Imam Tatazani is going to bring more evidences on the impossibility of tasalsul. So I will not read this, because tasalsul is understood, correct or not? The impossibility of infinite regression is understood. So I do not want to go into this, so that it becomes easier for all of us, inshallah ta'ala, especially those who are following, to go with the flow of the matan, and also we take some of the important aspects of the commentary of Al-Imam Tatazani. But inshallah in the future, maybe after we have completed this class, maybe in the future when we go, we can go back into some of the things that we do not touch, inshallah ta'ala. So it can be a reference on some of the arguments by Imam Tatazani when he rebut the philosophers especially. So when it comes to the philosophers, certain things are complicated, but it is important. The arguments of Imam Tatazani are very concrete and very profound, and it is based on a high level of what you call it, rational argument. So this is something that we Muslims are proud of our ulama. Now we will go into the part where Al-Imam Nasafiyyah mentioned al-wahid. So if you look at the matan of Nasafi, if you look in the one in bracket, it starts in from here. Say wal muhdithu lil alami huwa Allahu ta'ala, and then and he goes on all the way until here. Wa huwa Allahu ta'ala al-wahidu. Yani Allah al-wahid. This is what you call it, the attribute. When we say Allahu al-wahid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one. One here, any meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and is one and not many and not multiple. He is al-wahid. In Aqidah, when we speak about wahdaniyah, this is part of sifat salbiyah. Sifat ini salbiyah, so what we study in Umur Barahin. Sifat ini salbiyah is sifat ini wahdaniyah is salbu ta'addud. Salbu at-ta'addud. We are saying we are negating multiplicity for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one in essence. So he said, he explained it by saying, يعني أن صانع العالم واحد, that the creator of this universe is one, not multiple. فلا يمكن أن يصدق مفهوم واجب الوجود إلا على ذات واحدة. So he said that it is not possible to come to a belief or to affirm that the one who created the universe is not wajibul wujud, meaning he must be wajibul wujud. Yani the one, the muhdith, the originator, who created everything into existence, he must be necessarily what you call it, one in his essence. It is impossible then he is more than one or many. So this is the evidences that he's going to speak about, on the evidences why God is one and not two, and not any more than one. وَالْمَشْهُورُ فِي ذَلِكَ بَيْنَ الْمُتَكَلِّمِينَ بُرْهَانُ التَّمَانُعِ. So this is where he will speak about, and we have this argument that is called burhanu tamanu. And when we speak about the evidences why God must be necessarily one and not many, so we have this set of arguments, which in Arabic we call it burhanu tamanu. Burhan at-tamanu. So we have studied this in Barahin, and also the commentary of Barahin. And he said that al-mushar ilayhi biqawlihi ta'ala, this burhanu tamanu is mentioned specifically in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, لَوْ كَانَ فِيهِمَا آلِهَةٌ إِلَّا اللَّهِ لَفَسَدَتَا. Yani, and if the heavens and the earth, there are many, there are gods other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning many gods other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what will happen is that there will be chaos. There will be chaos in the universe. So the heavens and the earth would have been corrupted. So inshallah ta'ala next week we will continue to speak about burhanu tamanu. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala sayyidina Muhammad. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillah rabbil alamin. I do not know whether there is any question, and so far there is no question. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.